morning, everyone. Welcome back. The Level 1 podcast returns this morning with a loaded docket of stuff to talk about. How about Gremlins and Goonies? What are we, in the 1980s again? I guess so. How about the impending TikTok ban? Or how about updates to the Until Dawn movie and the impending release of Mai Shiranui in Street Fighter 6? We got a lot to talk about today, plus, of course, updates on everything going on, including my current playthroughs, some of which are heading into endgame, meaning new games coming soon, and the update on Smart Guys, my wrestling commentary show. So we've got a lot of topics today to cover. I'm excited to hit the ground running on today's exciting return episode of the Level 1 podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo! Because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Oh!
Alrighty, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the show. It's the Level 1 podcast, live here on DSPGaming and also over on Kick from Renton, Washington. I broadcast to you here live this Wednesday morning, January 15th, 2025. Of course, I'm DSP, and this is our show for today with a crazy RGB background. This one, I'm not even sure what this is supposed to be. It's called hydrogen. I think it's supposed to be like a molecule going crazy or something. I just like how it alternates between various colors and kind of pulsates, and the whole office is alive today with the lights. I love it. Anyway, so I hope you're all doing well. I was not here for a podcast yesterday because yesterday was my weekly wrestling commentary show called Smart Guys, which I broadcast over on my DSP Reacts channel and also on my Kick channel. So, excuse me. If you missed that show, be sure to check out the archive on DSP Reacts, which you can find at youtube.com/@DSP Reacts. It was a good show. We covered Monday Night Raw again and whether or not Monday Night Raw held up to the height of that big premiere on Netflix last week. And an update here, everyone. We are actually going to be covering AEW. That's right, All Elite Wrestling, for the first time ever next week. It's the first time I'm ever even watching it. I've never seen the product before, and apparently it airs tonight on Max, HBO Max. So for the first time ever, I'm going to be checking it out and seeing what it's all about and seeing if I like it. So I hope that you will join the show next week, but check out the archive from yesterday if you haven't seen it yet. I'm excited. The show basically is something completely different. It's me hanging out with someone else, having a good time, shooting the shit about wrestling. Yeah, he's kind of razzing me about all kinds of memes and stuff, but it's fun. Like, I'm having a good time with it. It's got an interesting audience because the audience is a hybrid between people like you who are longtime viewers of mine, but also people from Kino Casino. So it definitely has this kind of cross-bridging audience. And because of that, it's quite interesting, to say the least. I think that the show will evolve with more content and things over the coming weeks. You know, we already have some ideas of various things that we can be doing. The support has been good for the show so far. And all I will say is this: if anyone is interested in possibly creating some media for the show, and what I mean by that would be maybe a splash screen that we can use for the intro of the show, or an actual video intro. If you haven't seen, I'm making the intro for the show, and it's the intro is a complete and utter throwback to the old Smart Guys commentary show that I did over a decade ago. It's the same music. It even has some of the same graphics and styles. So it's kind of cool to have that callback 10 years later, But hey, moving into the future, probably also want to start using new stuff. So if anyone has any, you know, skill at that or whatever, we already had someone who made a bunch of Smart Guys logos that I'm using that are really good for the show. So thanks for that. And if anyone else, wants to, please take a stab at it. Contact me. I'd be more than willing to talk about, implementing some of that stuff on the show. Now, depending on how it goes, there may be more content, there may be more opportunities for stuff. We're talking about it. Right now we're doing the show once a week. If the show has popularity and support, we might do it more than once a week. But we want it to obviously have popularity and support. We don't want to be doing it just for us. To be clear, Ashton and I are having a great time doing the show. Like, it's actually really fun for us, but it's not just about us. It's about making content people actually want to watch, you see? So we're hoping that it's evolving into that for people. Lady Charisma says, I'll warn you about AEW. It's kind of like old NXT. The weekly show is iffy, but the pay-per-views are great. I hope you go into it with an open mind. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going in with I'm not going to have any preconceived notions. I'm not going to be saying, because people said it sucks or this or that. I'm just going to say it's terrible. I'm going to go in and I'm going to enjoy it for what it is, honestly, and see how it goes. Okay? So anyway, so that is exciting. I hope you'll check it out. But that's why there was no podcast yesterday. I was busy with that. After that, we came back and I played about a little bit over an hour of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And the good news is we beat the soft lock. If you remember, I've been soft locked because the game had a mission where it says raise enough money and go buy a rebreather, and that'll lead you to the next missions. Well, I was doing that, and I did other content as well because there's open world content in the game, but somehow I just ended up with the rebreather in my inventory. I don't know how or why, I just had it. So because of that, I couldn't actually do the mission to buy it because I already had it, and we were like, does that mean that the game's like over? Am I locked or whatever? And the good news is, no, I was able to continue on with the missions. I just had to go to the area where the missions were, where I needed the rebreather. And so I did a major, stream, a major segment, I should say, about over an hour of a big dungeon and a big boss fight against a giant snake and everything. It was really cool. And now we're at the end of Siam, this location. We're at the final mission. Indy actually said, we should do anything else we want to do before we do this next mission. Essentially, that means if there's any other side content or anything you want to do, get it done, because this next mission will lead you into the next major story arc, which apparently is the final story arc of the game. So the good news is we undid the soft lock. There is some bad news. Today we're playing Indy again. I don't know where to go to do the next mission because the game doesn't tell you, and there's no direction. The waypoint's still glitched saying buy the rebreather. So I might need to have some guidance today. Hopefully we get some people on stream who've played the game before or who can quickly look it up and tell me where to go on the map to do the next and final mission in Siam, because the game, it's not apparent. And I swear I've explored the map fully, so I'm not sure where they want me to go next. So that'll be a cool thing to continue with today. I'm happy to get to the end game. We are at the end game of Indy. And we've been playing Indiana Jones for over a month. It started in early December. Here we are in mid-January. Obviously, people want new stuff, right? And I hear you. I'm there with you. I want to move on to new games. And the next two games that we're going to wrap up are literally the games I'm playing today, Indiana Jones and Killer Frequency. Killer Frequency is the indie game that we've been playing now for a few streams, and we're going to wrap it up probably tonight because it is a shorter game, and we're already 5 or 6 hours in. So we should, by all accounts, wrap up the game tonight. And once those games are done, we now have time in the schedule to do more stuff. Maybe we'll bring in Dino Crisis, which is a game that people have wanted for a while. Years and years, every Halloween, it seems people ask for it for the Halloween marathon, and we play the intro and we never get past it. So maybe we'll finally do that, for the rest of the month. As for other stuff, we have some different options. We could play Balatro and the Coin Game for a late night chill stream of indies. We could do Marvel Rivals and bring it back for a night, but I want it to work. And the last few times that I played Marvel Rivals, sadly, the stream did not get support. So that's why I took it out of the rotation. Now, Marvel Rivals has been skyrocketing in popularity recently, so maybe we would get more people to come and check it out. I don't know. outside of that, there's a lot of possibilities. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, things we can do, and I'm open to that. But we got to wrap up the games I'm playing first before we can get to that. Okay, so that's going to be our focus today. Is can we wrap up games? Can we get really far into indie and maybe beat it next week? Can we beat Killer Frequency tonight? Can we free up spots in the schedule to do other stuff? And I hope the answer is yes. And we end up having a really productive streaming day today. Okay, now going hand in hand with that. I'd like to direct your attention to the bottom of the screen. As you can see, our leaderboard is a go, and I'm going to be using different fonts and different text and stuff every day for the leaderboard. Today, I wanted to make it look more adventurous, so I made it. I tried to make it like an adventure style Indiana Jones-esque, chat crawl. Maybe I'll even change it for tonight for Killer Frequency. Maybe I'll change the color or something. But anyway, I hope that you like it. And it's a new improvement. I'm trying to implement new improvements as much as I can to the streams now that I've got the setup that can support all of it. So where are we? We are currently at 68 out of 70 goals hit to get a special reward, which would be a DSP Tries episode where I'm going to try Jersey Mike's brand new spicy chicken Italian sandwich that just came out like this last week. It features a new chicken that they never had before, plus some kind of a spicy pepper relish and stuff. Sounds interesting and sounds really good, like right up my alley. So we hit 68 goals a couple days ago. Now, yesterday, we did Smart Guys, and we got a lot of support. It was like over $500 of support. But you may have noticed the goal counter didn't go up. And some people were confused about that. Well, after having talked it over with Ashton, Smart Guys is its own thing, okay? It's a co-op show between us. As I told you guys, all revenue and stuff on that show will be split between us and stuff. So because of that, it wouldn't be fair to be counting that towards my goal streak. It would be confusing. Like, why? Like, for example, that would have counted for 3 goals, but that technically wasn't people just supporting my streams and content. That was people supporting the co-op show. A lot of the viewers and fans are fans of Ash as well. And we actually have started setting up our own goals on that show. For example, because we hit our goal on the show yesterday, that's why we're going to be reviewing AEW next week, you see? So it's not going to count towards my streams. Basically, it'll kind of be suspended when we do Smart Guys, but then when I come back to my own content, we'll start counting again. And the truth is, we almost hit it anyway. Like, the Indiana Jones stream yesterday, we made like $90 in an hour. I mean, how can I possibly complain? I'm so happy, guys. Thank you so much for your support. I mean, it was amazing coming back from the Smart Guys show and just jumping on indie for an hour and getting more support. I'm like, oh my goodness. So, yesterday, the indie stream did good. Last night, we actually played the Marvel Collection. And I played MVC2. And I'll be honest, it's pretty much a dead collection. Everyone who's playing MVC2 at this point is a tryhard. And really bad connections, too. It's just sad. Like, when the collection came out over the summer, it was fun. I was able to play with joke teams like Iceman and Venom and other characters that aren't very good. And you could mess around and have a good time. Literally, those days are over. There's no way you can have fun with the collection. Every single person playing is a tryhard, going hard, top tier, rush down shit. You can't block it online because the connections are too bad because the rollback netcode sucks ass. It's just a shame. It's not that fun to play anymore. I was having fun with it when it first came out, but the fact that no crossplay, no punishment for rage quitters, mandatory rollback netcode, no way to actually sort out connections, so you end up getting mashed up with people with terrible connections, it's trash. So I played it. I did, I enjoyed half of the night, essentially. I actually played against Jacko Man, who is a player from Michigan, and he was using a serious team, and I was using a semi-serious team, and we were going back and forth, mixing it up, and we were having a good time with it. And that's what I mean. If it's not just ultra tryhard idiots abusing the netcode and rush down because you can't block online, the game's fun. But then you get the idiots who just don't understand that not everything in life is about winning every single fucking match and, trying to stroke their edicts because they're playing a fighting game online. It's just dumb shit. So I still enjoyed it, but I'll probably just bring it back, sparingly. Maybe every once in a while we'll throw in a Marvel stream for variety. But sadly, here's the thing. There's another collection coming out next year. That collection has Capcom versus SNK 2 in it. CVS 2 is a great fighting game. Okay, like seriously, it's superb. It's a really great game. I was never great at it. I was always just good, not great. So I'm like a mid-tier player at that game. I never really invested a lot of time into it. But still, when it comes out, I want to play it. But you know what's going to happen? It won't be crossplay. No, punishment for rage quitters. The connections are going to be rollback garbage. It's going to suck. These collections, Capcom puts no effort into them. It's sad. I don't know why they don't try. Think about it this way. Imagine if this collection, this Marvel collection, okay, had effort put into it. It was cross-platform, good connections, rage quit prevention. Now people will be invested in this collection. Not only will they buy it, but they'll actually invest money in it. Imagine if they said, oh, well, we're going to sell DLC packs of new colors. People would buy them. They would. They literally would. There's no reason they wouldn't. Of course they would. They would keep playing these games competitively. They'd have a great time with them. They would invest money in them. But Capcom doesn't care. I really don't think Capcom gives a shit. They only put out these collections when people scream that they want the games to try to appease the people who are screaming. But I don't think they care about longevity or any kind of investment of, competitive play. It just seems like, just toss it out. So I guess we'll see what happens. But, Marvel 2 was just okay yesterday. I wish that it was better. Anyway, so today, heading full on into Indie and Killer Frequency. Hopefully we'll wrap those up. Tomorrow, it's going to be Stalker 2 as the full daytime stream. There will not be a late night stream tomorrow night because I'm going to be doing my final private react videos for Slayer, and then I'm not doing any more private react videos, so I shouldn't have to skip streams every month in order to film them. Friday, my final consecutive streaming day of the week, it's going to be Dark Souls with mods on the first stream, and Friday Night Fights, Street Fighter 6, E-Honda returning on the late stream, okay? So that's my streaming week. Now, in regards to the goals, we didn't hit any goals yesterday, but today is a full streaming day. We're back to normalcy, all right? Please support my streams today. Let's hit the goals, because here's the deal. When we hit 70, we're going to do the DSP Tries It. Now, we're not doing it today. Reason being, we didn't hit the goals yet, and obviously I had to plan for dinner. My wife is already going to make us some delicious Japanese-style curry for dinner today, which I'm very excited for, and that's going to happen no matter what. Okay, so even if we do hit the goals today, I'm still having Japanese-style curry for dinner. That's not going to change. So just understand, even if we hit them, no, I'm not going to order the Jersey Mike's today. It's going to be, tomorrow. So that's actually what I want to do. I'm hoping that today we can hit 2 goals. And then tomorrow, after that Stalker 2 stream, I can order the food for DSP Tries It, and we could do the Jersey Mike's DSP Tries It. Okay, I don't know if we will hit it today. It would be great if we did, but let's see how it goes. All right, please support the streams. On YouTube, that means super chats, super stickers, memberships, and gifted memberships. On Kick, that means subs and gifted subs. And of course, anyone can tip via PayPal, which is a third-party deal. Please support if you can, okay? Is the curry spicy? It has some spice to it. It's like mid-level. It's not hot, but it's not mild. It's kind of in the middle. Okay. All right. So speaking of which, a couple contributions coming in to start off today. Our first contribution is a $4.20 tip from an anonymous tipper, it looks like. Let's play an animation and see what they have to say this morning. Thank you for the 420 tip to get stuff rolling. Okay, so the anonymous tipper says the following. Here we go. Does your DSP Gaming YouTube channel have the Super Chat goal feature? I've noticed other channels are using it, and I think it would be great for contributions. Yes, it's a new feature. They just started implementing it on YouTube channels like a month or 2 ago. I haven't messed with it at all. All right. So how about this? Let's mess with it. It's right here on the screen right now in the chat. It says goal. Make Super Chat more fun with a goal. And it says, oh, this is weird. Oh, I don't know if I like this. Here's how it works. Pick a goal, choose the Super Chat colors that count, and set a timer, and then share how you celebrate. So how many super chats? And you could set 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, and 50. Then it says choose the colors that would count. All colors, light blue and higher, which is $2 or approximately. Teal and higher, which is approximately $5. Yellow and higher, which is approximately $10. Orange and higher, which is approximately $20. Magenta and higher, which is approximately $50. And red and higher, which is approximately $100. And then you set a timer for the goal, like what time frame you want to hit it, and then show how you'll celebrate, and that you make up. Okay? So that's kind of here's how I can see that working. Okay? If you're exclusively a YouTube streamer, if your revenue is mostly through streaming on a YouTube channel, so super chats and memberships are like your goal, okay? That definitely works. Okay? For example, like what I would do, let's do a test of it, right? So let's say, how many super chats do we want to get? Let's go for $50 of super chats by the end of the podcast. So let's say we want to get 5 super chats, each of the $10 level, which is yellow or higher. And this podcast will end around 1 p.m. So let's say 90 minutes. You can't. You can only do 15, 30, 45, 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. But we're not going to let's do 1 hour. And then how will you celebrate? What will I do to celebrate if we get $50 in super chats in the next hour? What should I do? They say their suggestion is host a Q&A session. Well, we could do that. So is a chair spin? I don't think I can actually spin in this chair. No, I can't. Look. I can. Yeah, look. Oh, my foot. Oh, I put my foot right into the stand. That was painful. I put my foot directly into this stand right here. Ow. Well, now I'm going to be rubbing that for a while. So I don't think chair spin's a good idea. Ow. Blow some bubbles. I don't have any bubbles to blow, and we're not blowing them in here and destroying all my new expensive equipment. That's definitely not happening. All right, how about this? I'll do a dab. I haven't dabbed on stream in years. All right, I'll do an embarrassing dab. There you go. Start goal. Did it work? Yes. So there you go. The goal has appeared. Okay. Yeah, the goal has appeared. 0 of 5. I'm looking for 5 super chats of a $10 level in the next hour, raising $50 in super chats in the next hour. And if I do it, I will do a dab on stream, which I have not done in years. So there you go. So is it silly? It's very silly. It's ridiculous, right? Like, but I get it. Like, definitely there's been things like this before. I mean, the hype train on Twitch kind of alluded to something like this. So could I use it? I could. If we're on a stream and maybe we're in the middle of doing something, like let's say I'm playing a fighting game, right? And then you're like, oh, well, if I raise $50 in super chats in the next 30 minutes, I'll play, a couple matches of the character of the choice of the person who's the final super chatter or something like that. Something silly like that. Or Call of Duty. If I raise $50 in super chats in the next half hour, that person can then pick my loadout and what I need to focus on for the next match. Something like that. Get it? So there, that's what it is. As you can see, there it is on YouTube. So if you guys use it, go for it. I'll do it. In the next hour, we get $50 of super chats. I'll do a dab. Woohoo. Okay? So that's how it works for those who are wondering. That's the new goal system. I received a $1.10 tip. Listen to this. From Poopy Head. What AI RGB lights do you use? It's not AI. This is the program Signal RGB. You have to pay for it. It's free, but if you pay for the pro version, you get the version that has a ton of different configurations and setups and the like. And what it is you install the program and it has all these preset scenes you can do, but you can edit any scene to change colors, to change animations, to do whatever you want. and you can program in lighting devices. It's in truth, it's supposed to just work. It doesn't. Like you'll plug in a lighting device and it'll work, but you'll be like, why do I have a light strip? And it's supposed to be synced with the RGBs on the screen, but it's only showing like 2 colors. Your screen will have 10 colors. Your strip will have 2 because it doesn't work. What I did is I found someone who had actually coded their own plugin manually. Like they coded this thing. And what you do is you connect your lighting devices into your wireless network. Okay. Then you find the IP address of each individual lighting device on your network. You plug that into this plugin through the Signal RGB program, and then you can manually set them to work properly. So these light strips that I'm using would have only shown 1 or 2 colors, but now it's showing like 12 colors instead, which is amazing. And that's why it actually looks so good. So yeah. So anyway, I'm using Signal RGB, and I'm not using AI. I'm actually using their presets that are created by their community or whatever, but I edit them to my own purposes. Like some of them I change to be Christmas lighting. Some of them I adjust to be lighter or darker or change the actual color schemes around to make them look a little different. And they looked very nice. So I'm really pleased with this. Now, I do have an AI generated RGB system that I could use, but that's separate from Signal RGB. That's an app that came with the lighting devices that I have. And that app, you could type into it, hey, generate a scene that looks like I'm standing in the middle of the forest. And then it'll actually like generate a scene of greens and whites and things like that to simulate, say, like a breeze blowing through a forest and making a bunch of trees move. Okay, so I have that too, but I like using Signal RGB. It's a lot more complex, the things that people have come up with. So thank you for the tip. Let's see here. Sarah says, bring back outfits and dressing up options. There you go. That could be one. Like, if I'm going to do one of these YouTube, goals, I could be like, hey, if I raise $50 in super chats in the next hour, pick a hat and I'll put on a hat for the rest of the stream. Something like that. I'll put on the gunner glasses, something silly. Vests probably aren't going to work when I'm doing long sleeve clothes, but maybe when you get to the summertime again, put a vest on over a short sleeve shirt or something. I don't know. We'll think about it, but yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. I could do something like turn off the lights for a few minutes or automate stuff like getting jump scared. How would I get jump scared? Oh, you mean like something just happens to jump scare me? How would that work though? Like, I don't think I could be jump scared. Like, you guys could be jump scared because you're staring at a screen. I'm not staring at a screen. I'm looking at a camera. Right? I have no idea how long the last time I dabbed was. It's been so long. Does the Metal Gear Tesla lamp double as a home protection break-in device? Yes. What happens is if someone breaks in, I smash this and I stab them with it. And not only do they get impaled, but then electricity electrifies their body and it fries them. Yeah, right. They had Wings wearing a shock collar on LolCow Live, and they shocked him every $50 in super chats. So do you guys see why I'm happy that I wasn't on LolCow Live? Can you understand that, for me, listen, self-deprecation is one thing. Making fun of yourself and the memes around you or whatever. I didn't want my entire life to become the torture and make fun of DSP show and have no self-respect and no dignity and have all my content just become lowbrow shit to make money. If that were the case, I could have done that over a decade ago. I could have delved into drama. I could have done all that stuff, and I purposefully stayed away from it because I wanted nothing to do with it. So there you go. I made the right choice. I know I did. Here I am in 2025 doing well, right? Making good money, making great content that I enjoy, having a great time with life, and I don't have to embarrass myself every 5 seconds to make a living. Now, listen, more power to them over there. This is not me shitting on them whatsoever. They've found their way. It works. They're making tons of dough, and I say congratulations to them since that's the way they want to go and they're successful with it. You don't hate on success of others. I'm going to say this, guys. This is something that I've now learned. This is a tough one for me to swallow because I was a jealous asshole for a very long time. Okay, I was a really big jealous asshole for a very long time. But listen, you don't crap on the success of others because you're jealous. All right? You don't. Live and let live. Okay? That's the best philosophy to have, in my opinion now. And I know this is shocking from me because you said, well, Phil, you crapped on Keemstar and drama content all these years. You're right, I did. But I think I've learned my lesson that everyone has the right to like what they like. Everyone has the right to enjoy different kinds of content. Everyone has the right to make a living the way that they see fit. I just want to do stuff my way. Okay? Let me put it this way. Let me clarify though. As long as it's not blatant exploitation, abuse, or something that is harmful to people, then it's fine. In the case of Lolcow Live, if Wings of Redemption wants to put on a shock collar and shock himself to make money, as long as he's not killing himself doing it, he's welcome to do it. And if people want to watch and support it, they're also welcome to do that. Okay? So there you go. You know, I'm not going to sit here and crap on them and be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. No, like, hey, if that's the route they went and they're successful doing it, then more power to them. And I wish them the best. I really do. And I mean that. I'm not just saying that. I'm not being facetious. For me, my philosophy now is I just want to relax. I just want to have a good time doing what I'm doing. Because as you can see, I am successful doing what I'm doing. So I'm not upset about everyone around me being successful and me suffering because I'm not suffering at all. All right. So there you go. Live and let live. Okay. Rare Tricks, did you? Okay. I'm being told there was some Kick activity and I missed it. So let me go check on Kick. Hold on a second here. Please always call me out if I miss stuff on Kick. We have Rare Tricks who gifted a sub. Yes, thank you, Rare Tricks, for the gifted sub this morning. My apologies that I didn't see it. Let's get that up on the leaderboard here. Thank you, sir. Well, I guess I shouldn't have said that. That's an assumption that you're a sir, but I assume that you are a sir. I shouldn't have said that. Now I'm in. That's 2025. I'm in even deeper trouble now that I assumed someone's gender. Next, I'm going to have another hour lecture about pulling a barf to make up for it. Okay. Oh, let's see here. What? 3,000 subs? No, I said 1 sub. What are you talking about? Hold on 1 second here. Ah, I got invited to another YouTube survey. I'll check that out later. Pretty cool. I get invited to all these YouTube surveys now, and I actually answer them honestly. So, I got a $1.20 tip from Poopy Head. Do an exploding diarrhea scene in RGB. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Poopy Head, RGBs are good at primary colors, red, green, and blue, and variations. So yellow, orange, purple. They're not good at extremes like black. There's no such thing as a black light. Black is the absence of light. Poop would be like brown. Very hard to do a brown color. Like, for example, right now in this layout, which is called hydrogen, okay? It's trying to do yellow, orange, red, and white all together. And some variations of that actually kind of look brownish. But as you can see, it doesn't really come across as that on the wall, does it? Like, kind of, maybe, but not really. So it would be really hard to actually get a brown color. I know I'm taking your suggestion way too seriously because all you wanted to do was have me say diarrhea on stream. But just being honest, I don't think that it would even work even if I set it up. I don't think that we'd actually get it to work, so. Okay. Do I have RGBs in my toilet? Not yet. Not yet. But maybe. Maybe we will. Maybe I should have highlights coming out of the bowl. Let's see here. Oh, see, there's a difference. So someone tipped $1 and says, what about your detractors? Why, my detractors are literally breaking the law. You understand that? When you're making content, that's what I just said. I said, listen, you don't hate on other success unless it's harmful to others. Literally, my detractors break the law on a daily basis. Defamatory / outright slanderous content that is lies. There's a difference between we criticize someone for something they did versus we just outright lied. Okay? Anytime that they've outright made a lie up, that's actually against the law. Okay? Every time that they've illegally restreamed me, that's against the law. Every time that they stole content and didn't make it a transformative work, that's against the law. All of that content should not be allowed on YouTube, and anyone has a right to call that out. Now, there's a difference between being jealous and just saying, you guys are outright breaking the law and think you can get away with it. Well, it ain't going to last forever. Okay? Whether or not it's me or someone else that takes care of it, someone's going to take care of it eventually. So I hope that they're enjoying their gravy train now, because the gravy train's going to dry up. Me, I'll always be around able to make content no matter what, because I've got unlimited resources of things to draw upon. As you've seen, I could go in any direction I want, and people will be along for the ride. But for them, the gravy train's going to dry up someday, so I hope that they're saving every little penny that they're pinching out of their law breaking. Anyway, let's not talk about them because they're meaningless people regardless, right? Okay. Let us start with some of the stuff I want to cover today. So we got at least 1 to 2 things I want to react to today. But let's do a couple quick stories, shall we? Let's do a couple quick news stories before we get to the reacting stuff. Okay, by the way, who's going to be the first super chatter? We have a super chat goal set up of getting 5 super chats around $10 each in the next hour, and if I hit them, I'll do a dab. Okay? So let's do that. And let's get some subs. We got 1 from Rare Tricks. Thank you, Rare Tricks. Let's get some more going. And let's get someone to beat that 420 tip. Let's get some stuff rolling here to hit our goal for today. Okay? Okay. Will I do a live react to the Switch reveal? If there is one. Remember, Nintendo has announced nothing. Everyone's rumor, oh, tomorrow is a Switch reveal. Nintendo didn't say anything yet. So once Nintendo says, hey, there's a Switch reveal, I'm all over it. But it's not, as of right now, it's not confirmed. It's not real. It's a bunch of baloney that people are just like hyping up. But, you know, I'll be honest, I hope it's true. Okay, I do. I hope it's true. Yeah, nothing. I'm looking right now. I don't see anything about it. So, yeah. Hey, if it is true, I'd love to cover it, and I will. I'll cover it tomorrow. But it needs to be real. And right now, it ain't real. Okay? This is great. My dad works at Nintendo. He says it's next Friday. Jinx asked, do you know who Cyrax is? I only know who Cyrax is because someone suggested him, submitted videos, I guess, of that guy for my react show like a year and a half ago, and I watched him. He's just another one of these guys on the internet considered a lol cow who does wild, over-the-top things, and everyone calls him out for it. I don't even remember the guy. Every once in a while, someone comes in here and references it. I'm like, whatever, I don't know. I don't really care. So, okay. So let's cover a few news stories this morning. Here we go. Our first news topic of the day, fast Wi-Fi speeds have entered the chat. Connect to the most powerful mobile Wi-Fi. That's not what I wanted to read. TikTok prepares for U.S. shutdown for Sunday, sources say. Yes, it is pretty much confirmed at this point that unless the United States Supreme Court completely changes course and interjects themselves into this case, TikTok will be banned in the United States starting this Sunday. Now, we talked about this many, many months ago, all right? A long time ago. And we were talking about, will it actually happen or not? And since then, a lot has happened. You know, basically the government was saying that, you know, TikTok being owned by China, and there's outright evidence that they're using the data they're gathering via TikTok to spy on American citizens and possibly do harm to the country, that they're banning the site. And that only if someone were to step up and buy TikTok that wasn't of Chinese interest would they allow it to continue to operate in the United States. So they've argued this back and forth in court, and basically it's at an impasse where the courts really haven't done anything to prevent the banning. So now this is it. If the Supreme Court steps up in the next couple of days and Business line of credit cleared for takeoff. Access. Damn it. Did it again. But if the Supreme Court steps up in the next few days and does something to put this on hold, then TikTok can continue to operate. But if not, TikTok will shut down in the next few days. So what they're going to do is they're going to make it that if you try to open the app on American computers, all it's going to do is do a pop-up message that directs you to their website, and the website will explain we can no longer operate in the U.S. because of this ban, you know. Now, you want to know one of the funny things about this is here you go. Privately held, ByteDance is 60% owned by institutional investors, like BlackRock and General Atlantic. Its founders and employees own 20% each. So it's the Chinese parent company ByteDance. There you go. There it is. That's what everyone is saying is the problem, that China owns it and they're using it to spy on Americans. This is very true. Some people are making good points in the chat. So Sarah says, TikTok does the same thing as Meta and X. They're only going after TikTok because it's Chinese. Lady Charisma says, kind of funny, they're focusing on TikTok, but Meta, Google, X do the same stuff, but they allow sites like Temu, which also is owned by a Chinese company. Right. Now, I mean, you couldn't be more biased here. There's 100% reasoning here. The reason that they want TikTok gone is because it's Chinese owned, and we consider China, sadly, one of our competitors / opponents in the world. We don't agree with the way that they do business. We don't agree with the way that they run their government. So because of that, how dare you spy on us, right? You know, they're different kind of government over there. So that's why. I mean, you hear all this crazy crap. Oh, you think that the drones over New Jersey were also controlled by China, but our government doesn't want to admit that we were invaded by drones. You hear this crazy stuff, right? So who knows how much of it is true or not, but this is true. So there it is, January 19th, and they did not sell by January 19th. Here, last week, the U.S. Supreme Court seemed inclined to uphold the law despite calls from President-elect Donald Trump and lawmakers to extend the deadline. Trump's inauguration is the day after the law goes into effect, so Monday, right? Is his inauguration? Yeah. Yeah, they're claiming that this would violate First Amendment law and abridgment of free speech. I don't think it does, honestly. Like, I don't think that TikTok is necessarily free speech. Just saying, but I mean, anyway. It says, it estimated 1/3 of the 170 million Americans using the app would stop accessing the platform if the ban lasted a month. What do you mean 1/3? No, it's going to be almost 100%. Americans aren't that crazy. We're like, if in America, all right, just so you guys understand the American way, people want to do stuff in America because it's easy. It's easy to access. It's easy to use. If TikTok takes, like, I guarantee you people will find workarounds to access TikTok, whether it's a VPN or whatever. Most Americans are not going to do that. They're immediately just going to say, well, fuck this, and they're going to delete it and never use it ever again. So this is the end of TikTok in the U.S. If this goes through, it's going to be done. So anyway. So here's the truth. I've never used TikTok. I know what TikTok is used for. I've seen TikToks before on social media that were taken from TikTok and posted on X and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the truth is there are tons of other apps and businesses and social media that do exactly the same thing TikTok does, but they're not Chinese owned. So they want to keep it. What did they say? Let's keep it in the family, right? Let's keep it in America. Let's make sure that if we're going to be stealing people's demographical, geographical, online activity, data, make sure it goes to American companies so we benefit and that the Chinese don't. That's essentially what this is, So, yeah, pretty interesting. Will it actually happen? I think so. At this point, I don't see an interjection happening by Sunday. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. But, well, there you have it. TikTok, if you guys use TikTok, I'm sorry, you're going to have to get a life. You're going to have to close your phone, go outside, and touch grass because the ticking and the talking is about to stop. Okay. Our next story for today, folks. New Gremlins and Goonies movies are in development right now in 2025. new Gremlins and Goonies movies are in development now in 2025. When I think fresh, hot new content, some of the most amazing, creative content that could possibly be made in 2025, I think about movie franchises from 40 years ago. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I couldn't think of anything better to make in this modern era than reviving dead movie franchises that are 40 years old. Now, here's the thing. I want you to understand something. These movie franchises are great, okay? Gremlins had 2 movies. The first movie was a hybrid comedy, horror, holiday film. It stormed everyone by surprise. It actually flopped at the box office because there was another movie that came out that same weekend that like destroyed it. And I forget what it is. It was like a really popular movie at the time. But the movie got legs and became a cult classic, so much so that everyone started watching it and talking about it. And then it got a sequel that was so campy and over the top that people loved that one too. And even that one got like a following. But then it just said, okay, that's enough. And for what I'm to understand, they've been trying to make a Gremlins 3 for a very long time, but it just never got off the ground. Like various reasons, it kept getting, let's produce it, and then it fell flat, and then try it again, and then it stopped again. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with that. Obviously, if they make it today, it's got to be like the most zany movie ever. Don't make it serious in any way. Just make it like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. And I think it would actually do well because people would just be like, what the fuck are we watching in 2025 Gremlins, right? But in regards to the Goonies, okay, I'm sorry. The Goonies is a great movie. The Goonies is 100% representative of a different era, the 1980s. Everything in the Goonies oozes 1980s, okay? The cars, the technology, the music, the way the kids dress, the way the people act. It is 100% 1980s. It's like a time capsule of 1980s. It really is. And it doesn't need any further follow-up. It doesn't need a sequel. It doesn't need a prequel. It doesn't need, that. I compare this to when they just tried to do this with A Christmas Story. They tried it twice with A Christmas Story. This is a movie that's set in a certain time period. It was a 1980s hit. And then they tried to make a sequel and they tried to make a spin-off. No one wants that. Okay, no one. The Goonies is amazing. It is pure 1980s Americana. It's funny, well acted, well written. They even went back. People liked the movie so much, they went back and found the hidden, deleted scenes of stuff that was completely taken out of the movie that would have made the movie even cooler. What are you going to do? Production and stuff, they always cut stuff out of movies. People love it, right? And here's the thing. Lady Charisma makes a good point. I was actually getting to this point. Why do I think they're trying to do this? Because recently, something else happened that blew up, that got a lot of attention, and I think that they're trying to basically now use that as the premise to go back and re-explore the past. It's called Stranger Things, right? The sci-fi horror series on Netflix that takes place in the 1980s, is full of 80s Americana stuff, but it's this ongoing, show, have 4 seasons. The 5th season, I think, comes out this year. And it's done incredibly well for itself. It blew up with popularity. And a lot of people even said Stranger Things Season 1 is like The Goonies. You're right. Stranger Things Season 1 is like The Goonies. Now, future seasons are nothing like The Goonies. But the first season felt like The Goonies, and people loved that nostalgic feeling. And maybe now, because it's been so successful, they're using that as their reasoning to make another Goonies film. But dude, if they do this, let me put it this way. Let's examine every possible aspect, okay? A sequel. Could they do a sequel? Yes. They could bring back most of the original cast and actually do a sequel set in present day. Out of these, I know for a fact 3 out of these 4 actors are alive and ready to do it. I don't know about the guy on the right. I don't know about the actor who played the character on the right. But the other 3 could easily do it. Corey Feldman, Sean Astin, right? And I don't know that guy's name, but he's also the actor from Indiana Jones, and he just recently did a big hit film as an adult. He won an award, didn't he? So all three of them could come back to do Goonies 2. Okay, I don't know about the guy on the right. I don't know if he's done anything since. Also, the other characters, some of them, are notable actors, and they could come back. Okay? But, FYI, do you want to see this in 2025? Do you really think it would be good? Maybe just on the premise of having these actors come back together and shoot the shit, that could be entertaining. But do you really want to know what's going on with these kids 40 years later, now that they're all grown, old, probably salty adults? Right? Let's be honest, the character, I forget the kid's character, the Asian kid there who's the inventor. He has all these cool inventions. He probably is the owner of TikTok or the inventor of TikTok that's about to be closed in the US, right? Like that would be the modern plot, is that he's running TikTok or, and he's all salty about that. So that's what I mean. Like, do you really want to, I don't want to see a follow-up of this in the modern day. The story is kind of, how can I say, it's an immortal story. It doesn't need a follow-up. We don't need to know. We just want these characters immortalized as the characters they were during the story in the 1980s. Okay? So I don't think we want that. Also, here's the other thing too. What's the other thing? What about the freaking the monster dude from the movie? What the hell's his name? I totally forgot his name. They give him the Baby Ruth. Can you imagine having that character in a movie today? Everyone would be so offended. Oh my God, you have a character in this movie who's obviously disabled, and mentally incapacitated and stunted, and you have this as a character? And you're making fun of them, and it's supposed to be funny? How could you? How could you have them in a movie today? That would be so offensive. Fred Rogers says they could have them all, bring them all back, but they've all transitioned to women now. Oh my God. Anyway, I don't remember the character. Does anyone remember the character's name? Is it Rocky? I don't remember the character's name. Is it Rocky? I haven't seen Goonies. I love Goonies, but I haven't seen it in a long time. I used to see it all the time in the 80s and 90s. It would get played on TV constantly, but I haven't seen it in a very long time. Sloth. His character's name is Sloth? Okay, Sloth. That's the character's name. Got it. Wait a minute. His name is Sloth? How offensive is that in 2020? So let me get this straight. Because he has a mental disability, he's slow like a sloth, and that's acceptable in 2025. You know what? I take it back. Cancel this movie. No one ever see Goonies. It's incredibly offensive. If you watch this movie, you're going to be constantly offended every second. There's no possible way you could enjoy a movie like this in 2025. Cancel the cast, cancel the crew, cancel the writer, the director, cancel it all, delete it, take it like Fahrenheit 9/11, right? Burn the books. Not Fahrenheit 9/11. Fahrenheit, the original Fahrenheit. It wasn't 9/11. It was Fahrenheit, whatever the numbers are. Burn the books. Burn them all. Burn the movie. Make a big pyre. 451. Thank you. It's Fahrenheit 451 was the original writing. Make a big pile of bad movies and media and burn it. We can't have this anymore. Cancel the culture. Cancel it. Pretend like it never happened. Okay. Anyway. Calling him Sloth is really fucked up. Well, there's the thing. In the 80s, no one cared. In the 80s, no one was offended by this kind of stuff. They would say, wow, that's really interesting and scary. Because originally the character is meant to be scary. You think that this guy's like a vicious, like almost like a Frankenstein's monster brew where he's not controllable. But then you find out he's a gentle giant. All he wants to do is be treated nice. Give him a Baby Ruth candy bar. He'll be your best friend, right? So the writing is good, but people are offended. How could you have that in your movie, right? So anyway, there you go. So should Goonies be remade? No. I don't think Goonies should have a prequel, a sequel, a remake. I don't want to see this movie again with new actors and new mannerisms and redone for the modern era. This is fine. This is good. Watch this original movie and fuck anyone who wants to fuck it up. Gremlins, I could see Gremlins 3. The whole premise of Gremlins is zaniness. That these creatures are uncontrollable and they run amok. And that could be a timeless thing. Like that could happen not right now. Right? Gremlins take over and everyone's all, gets screwed up. I would be all right. Really, I would be all right with a new Gremlins movie. In fact, I think I would actually like to see a new Gremlins movie. As long as it's, not a reboot, but, let's have Gremlins 3 or something, right? But not, dude, don't fuck Goonies up. People are just messed up. Again, why are they doing this? It's very simple. There's no originality left in Hollywood. Literally no one in Hollywood has a fucking speck of talent. They just take things from the past and keep rehashing them and redoing them because they don't have any talent to make anything good that anyone wants to see. So you get 7,000 Fast and Furious movies, 14 fucking Transformers movies, redo this, Ninja Turtles 70-second reboot. But do you get anything new that's good? Can you name one thing that's been new and actually really good in the last 10 years? We just mentioned Stranger Things. Why is Stranger Things good? Because it's a nostalgia trip to the 80s, bro. Right? Exactly. Everyone's stuck in copy pasta. Everyone just copy pastes everything. And it's sad because, as I've stated, when you copy something, think about a photocopier. All right? So you take the original, you put it down on the photocopier, and now you've got your copy, and it looks close to the original. It's not perfect, but it's close. But now you take the copy of the copy, and then you copy the copy of the copy, and then you copy the copy of the copy of the copy. And every time that you keep copying, the quality reduces to the point where it looks nothing like the original. It's just washed out garbage, right? That's what's happened with Hollywood, is that it's just the same shit over and over, but it's not good anymore. It's just the same shit. Oh, it's nostalgia bait, right? How many movies are having the Legacy sequel now? Do we really need new Indiana Jones movies in the modern era? You know what? No, we don't need any of this shit. It doesn't make sense, to be doing it, but that's all they do. They have no talent. So just rehash the talent of the past when you have no true talent to make something original in the present. It's pretty sad. It is. It's pretty sad. Once again, my hair is sticking straight up. It's right here. I have a lump of hair right here that's sticking up on my head. You see that? And it's like I can't do, if I have a brush, I can fix it, but I can't fix it with my hands. Oh, you know what I could do here? I'll puff up this side. Actually, that's a little better. If I puff up that side, it's just annoying. I see it on camera. I'm like, my hair's fucking sticking up again every day. Anyway, all right. I received another $1.10 tip. How about this? Can we get a tip that's not $1.10? Can we get a tip that's not from toxic toilet, anal diarrhea, rhino ball, splurging liquid juice? Can we get a tip that's from a normal fucking human who just wants to say, hey, Phil, having a good day, like your content. That would be nice. If I could get a normal fucking contribution this morning, except for this fucking mentally challenged dude who tips me $1 to say disgusting shit, that'd be very nice. I'm just saying, can we break the pattern here, break the madness, stop the insanity? This is getting ridiculous at this point. Okay. So anyway, Toxic Toilet 67 tipped me $1.10, says, why are you talking about gooning movies? Do you see what I mean? This is the level of intelligence. Can we get something better than that? Please? What's it going to take to get a tip that has a few brain cells used that, in the process of the tip? And by the way, same thing. I got a $5 super chat from a mouth drooler, so I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to say, gee, thanks, stupid. I don't have to read anything that you said. Here we go. Watch. Watch this. Ready? Mouth drooler with a $4.99 super chat. Thanks. That gets us up to $17 in contributions today. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So please don't reboot 1980 shit at this point. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'd like to see a new Gremlins movie just on the premise that it was already so not serious that it'd probably be funny to see a Gremlins 3. But I certainly don't want to see a Goonies anything. And it's ridiculous to try to, take a spin-off of that. So, all right, did it work? It actually did. Look at that. All I did was I ran a comb through my hair, and now it looks smooth. See that? But don't worry, I'm sure it'll fuck up over the course of the rest of the show. Okay. So let's see here. I received a $20 tip from Swagonito. Hey, Phil, I just want to send a non-scat related tip. Thank you, Swagonito. A normal person has sent a normal contribution. I appreciate that, Swagonito. Thank you. Cool. Let's get you on the leaderboard there. Very good. 37 bucks and climbing today. Thank you so much. Like I said, I definitely want to hit the goals today because I want to do the DSP tries it for tomorrow. Actually, I was in the middle of talking about this and I got distracted. So here's the deal. Today, we've already got our dinner lined up and everything. Tomorrow, my wife is working, and it would be great if we could do DSP tries it because then she could come home from work and we'll have the sandwiches to eat and she doesn't have to cook or anything. So that would be perfect. So I'm hoping to hit the goals today. We have 2 more to be hit of 150 bucks, and then we'll have DSP tries it tomorrow of Jersey Mike's, okay? This new sandwich. Oh, cool. Toxic toilet juice rhino ball squirting liquid out of his nipples, poo gross, says his tips will never end, mwahaha, and attach that to a $1.10 tip. So there you go. Thanks a lot. Jade, how are you today? How's it going, man? You got another achievement today? Jade is a beast in Marvel Rivals. He's playing every single character and getting every single achievement by playing with them. So apparently he's really good at the game. It's awesome. Okay. Someone just says, just stop reading the $1 tips. You know, I could. We talked about this the other day, did we not? That these smaller contributions, you know, it seems like some people like to take advantage of them and they want to just say stupid shit that no one wants to hear, including me. I mean, I don't want to be reading this, but it's kind of like, well, I want to read every contribution. I want to make sure everyone feels appreciated, but then the people take advantage, right? So I don't know. You guys tell me. Do you think I should stop reading? Maybe I should just say, thanks for the $1 contribution and just move on? Or should I actually like read and respond? I don't know. Swagonito says Ashton already said ban dollar tips. I know he did. You know, with them over there, those you have to understand something. With the guys from Kino Casino, those guys are much bigger than me. Literally every night that they stream, they're getting 3,000 viewers. Okay, I get what 300, so they're 10 times bigger than me. Okay, they get such level of contribution. I mean, regularly they get people coming in. It's a natural thing to drop 50 bucks on them, 10 subs. You know. That's wild. That's for me, that's a crazy, very generous contribution, way over the top, you know, from what people would usually do. And I'm so appreciative of that. For them, that's like the normal contribution. So for someone to come in and give like 1 sub, they'd be like, what is this? You know? So that's it. It's scale though. Like I'm not to scale of them. You know, I'm appreciative that they want to do content with me and stuff, but you know, it's just not to scale. You know, for me, it's like, dude, those dollar tips do add up. They do. Like, here's the truth. All right, with the $1.10 tip or whatever. So out of that, it's about $1, and then there's a little bit of a cut that's removed. So I get, you know, maybe like 80 cents or something out of that $1. But hey, if that person did 10 or 20 of those today, it adds up to like 15, 20 bucks. That's a good chunk of my goal. Right? But hey, if people want to change the way that we do stuff, we could. But I want to be sure that I'm not offending people too, and then people get pissed or whatever. Jinx says, didn't we all agree to not read anything below a $5 tip? Well, we talked about it the other day, but I don't think we came to a big consensus agreement or anything, you know? All right, we got a couple things to react to today. All right, we got time. So let's do it. Let's get into it. So first off, for those of you who are longer time viewers of mine, you may have watched my playthrough of a game called Until Dawn way back when in 2015, almost 10 years ago now, okay? And that playthrough, some people to this day say was one of the best I've ever done. It was a choose-your-own-adventure style horror game of a bunch of kids set in a cabin in the woods being stalked by a killer. Halfway through the game, the plot changes and just goes absolutely crazy. And I don't want to spoil. For those who've never played the game, strongly recommend you play it first time without ever being spoiled. And also, my playthrough, watch it because people love it. They say it's one of the best playthroughs I've ever done. You will laugh your ass off watching it. Okay. Now, if you like 80s, 90s slasher movies, it's right up your alley. It really is. Here we are 10 years later. They're making a movie called Until Dawn. And the question is, well, what is this movie about? Is it actually the game? Is it not? Let's find out. They released this 1 minute film first look, and I want to see what it is. All right? Let's do it. Let's just do it together right now, and let's see what the hell this is. I'm curious what they're going to do with this movie. Let me actually just lower the volume a little bit, see if I make it loud or not. Okay, here we go. Ready? Until Dawn, first look. Here we go. It would help if I pressed the correct keyboard to start the video. Here we go.
As a huge fan of the Until Dawn game and how cinematic it was, I thought a lot about how we can continue the story without just giving the audience the same experience that they got when they were playing.
The movie has sort of the same tone and the same vibe, but it expands upon the universe.
I'm very proud to be part of this evolution onto a screen.
So if you don't know, that actually is the character from the game. That guy was Dr. Hill in the original game. He goes, psychopath, psychopath. Remember that? So he's in it as a character. And they're saying it expands upon the universe. So they're saying this is the original Until Dawn universe, supposedly. Okay, but it's not the original plot.
One of the creative things the game did is that people make different choices and die in different ways. The movie has this mechanic where things start over and they get to try again.
What just happened?
Every time they come back to life, it's like they're in a new horror genre. To survive, they have to make it until dawn.
Did he ever play the game Until Dawn? Did he ever actually play the game? Does he understand that literally nothing he just said has anything to do with the game? Right? Now, here's the thing. I'm listening to what he's saying, and I'm like, wait a minute. That actually is an interesting premise for a movie. A movie where a bunch of kid survivors enter a house or a location, some kind of a killer is after them. And it follows the tropes and the all the things of a certain genre of horror movie. So then they all die, and then they revive as like a Groundhog Day kind of a thing. And now all of a sudden it's the same scenario, but now a different kind of horror trope. So imagine the first time there's a killer who's like a slasher killer, like Jason. Then they die, they come back. Now it's a horror where they're being haunted by a ghost. Then they die again and they get revived. And now there's a demon that's coming out of the ground trying to kill them. And then in the next time, maybe they're going nuts and killing each other, right? Like there's insanity, mass hysteria. Okay, that premise actually isn't bad, okay? I think that's a good premise for a horror movie. What does that have to do with the video game Until Dawn? Okay, spoiler alert, everyone. I'm going to now spoil Until Dawn because I think that, let me go back here. There we go. I want to spoil it because it makes sense for me to spoil it right now. So if you've never played the original game, do not watch this portion, okay? But in the game Until Dawn, it's about a group of kids who go out to a cabin, okay? They're staying there on like a vacation, and all of a sudden, a killer starts stalking them and killing them like one by one, all right? So what happens is, come to find out, it's fake. The whole thing is staged. It's about this one kid who's kind of losing his mind and is really angry at these kids for some reason. He's trying to get his revenge, but he's not actually like planning on murdering them all. It's just kind of a really fucked up, twisted game he's playing. But then all of a sudden there's a plot flip and there is an actual supernatural element. There are killers. It happens out of nowhere and you're like, what? And then the second half of the game, basically you're trying to keep all these kids alive from a real horror element. Okay? But the whole reason the game worked is because the first half of the game, you're kind of baited into thinking this is what the game is, and then it completely changes halfway through and throws it on its head. You're like, whoa, I never expected that. Okay? And the game's great, by the way. It's like one of the best horror plots in any game. It's really well done. So what the hell does that have to do with this movie? Like, it sounds to me like this guy, he's like, oh, I'm a big fan of Until Dawn. Did you play it? Or did you just hear the name? Because your title, Until Dawn, okay, it's a group of survivors, they're gonna get killed, right? And if they get killed, they reboot into a Groundhog Day scenario where they gotta survive again, but it's a different kind of trope and a different kind of killer or whatever. Okay, but that has nothing to do with the game. So don't call it Until Dawn, right? Like, just call it something else and make your movie. I like the premise of this movie. I think this sounds good. I'm actually interested in this movie. I think I might like this movie. But why is it called that? What is it? It's so dumb that they do this. Let's make a movie that's going to be based on Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy Spirits Within. It has nothing to do with Final Fantasy. That's why everyone hated it. Nothing. Why did you call it that? So they do this all the time. Attach a name, but then people who are coming into this looking for what the name says are disappointed. If you've played Until Dawn and you watch this movie, you're going to be like, what the hell am I watching? It's nothing to do with it. I literally didn't know this. I haven't seen this until right now, so I didn't know this. But man, Hollywood needs to start coming up with their own ideas. You don't need to call it Until Dawn. It has nothing to do with it. Ay. Man, let me tell you guys. Yeah, Lady Charisma says it reeks of producers saying it needs to be linked to an IP or just will never get funding. Yeah, so dumb. Personally, I think that's a good idea for a movie. That sounds good to me. But why does it have to be called something that it's not? I'm at a loss. Okay, our last thing to react to today. I have no idea what you're talking about. He's saying, can I unmute? What does that mean? You're not muted. No, I didn't know they were making a Helldivers movie. No, I didn't know that. Oh, avoiding spoilers. Oh, yeah. I'm done talking about it. I only spoiled the first half of the game, by the way. I didn't spoil the end of the game because the end of the game is actually quite good. I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but okay. All right, ready? So, guys, here we go. This is something that for 2 days, I guess people have been asking me to react to, but I was busy. So now we're getting around to it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mai Shiranui gameplay trailer for Street Fighter 6. Here we go. I hit the wrong space bar again. I'm such a dunce. Okay.
Hey everyone, get ready to feast your eyes on.
For the record, I'm going to probably absolutely hate the voice actress because I'm so used to hearing Mai Shiranui in Japanese playing King of Fighters where there is no English voice acting. So this is probably going to drive me nuts.
The strongest Shiranui fighter around. Yo, Nipponichi. Show me what you have.
So 2 outfits from the get-go. They all had 2 outfits from the get-go. That was probably target combo. How's the volume level? Is it good? Okay, it looks good.
You shouldn't keep a girl waiting.
They haven't really
Watch your head.
redesigned the character that much. Like taking a look at how she looks like she's from King of Fighters. She doesn't really look like she fits Street Fighter, right? And her fighting style, I don't know. A little weird. There's an air throw. Their anti-air is the flame flip. Still has the fire super. Ooh, EX fan. That was interesting. So she threw an EX fan, which is 2 hits. The fan absorbed Chun-Li's fireball. But after, did you see that? After the EX fan, she was able to drive rush. I want to see that again. She threw an EX fan, but was able to drive rush after the fan. So the fan absorbed the fireball, and then she punished with a combo. Oh, wait, did you see? Okay, hold on. The fan absorbed the fireball. She was then able, after the drive rush, to do an overhead into a combo. Huh. The fan hits. So the EX fan absorbs a fireball, bounces, and does a second hit that leads to a combo. So her fan is very weird for a projectile. It's got weird properties. Why does she have flaming wings? She never had that before. Yeah, the fan. The fan hits and bounces up. So it's an initial hit, and then there's a second hit that can extend combos or cause mix-ups. So that's very unique. Yeah, look at that. It causes complete mix-ups. Wow. And then she has a different version. Wow. I wonder if she's gonna be all projectile based. So that was 2 meters. First, she did an EX flip, which launched. Then she was able to do the EX dive, and it comboed. So at any point when she has full meter, she could do some crazy mid-screen juggles that could push you all the way to the corner. And if she has super, she has an air super, she could cancel into.
As predicted.
Interesting.
Floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee.
I don't know why she says floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. Does she think she's Muhammad Ali? What the heck? Why'd they give her that quote?
Hey, what are you looking at? Up here.
So she seems. Oh, when does she come out? Hold on, they'll probably have the date. Where's the date? When does she come out? February 5th. Why the hell didn't they put that in the trailer? Okay, February 5th. So from what I can see, analyzing this, okay, yeah, definitely I'm going to use the Japanese voice actor too, or voice actress. I'm so used to Mai being in Japanese from King of Fighters. That's pretty, like, it's grating on the ear. I just want to hear the Japanese voice actress. I actually wonder if they got one of her actual Japanese voice actresses from King of Fighters to voice her in it. But from what I can see, she seems very projectile-based, meaning she's going to be the character that beats other characters who spam projectiles. She's going to want to be doing mid-screen and full-screen projectiles. She can use the EX version to blow through someone else's projectile, but then it hits again. And there was another version, which I don't know, that she threw 2 fans at once, so I don't know the difference between the single fan and the double fan yet. Again, if she has meter, looks like she can do big combos from mid-screen. You get that one hit in, and then she can do the EX elbow, which is a launcher. And then after that, she could jump and do a juggle with the dive. And if you have meter, you could finish with a super. So at any time she finishes a combo with meter, she could do big damage. The dive. See, here's the thing. Some people are saying, well, if she has a dive, Kyle on kick says, if she has a dive, is she going to be overpowered? Well, you're thinking of Cammy. You're thinking of Cammy's dive kick. Traditionally in King of Fighters and other games, her dive does not have good recovery at all. Her dive is good to fool people. You jump over a fireball, dive in, and she has an EX dive that is cancelable. So at any time someone's throwing a fireball, you can jump over EX dive, cancel into super, which is pretty good. But like I just said, traditionally it doesn't have good recovery. Unlike Cammy's dive kick that is insanely recoverable, insanely safe in almost every situation, I don't think her dive will be that good unless they've changed its properties completely. It's probably going to have big recovery. So I'm not sure. You know, all I can see from this is her fan has an interesting property because it has a second hit as the fan bounces that creates a juggle state or a combo state. Okay. And definitely the EX elbow will lead to big juggles, and the EX dive can cancel the super. So those are the three big things. The flame, her upper flame, that's supposed to be her anti-air, which is the flame like flash kit. Don't know how good that's going to be. That's been various qualities over the years. Sometimes it's been incredibly good and a solid anti-air, and other times it's not good at all. It's very slow. So it's not, from that trailer, you can't really tell how good that flame upper kick will be, if it will truly be a good anti-air or not. The most telling part was this, when she's fighting Ryu. This right here. Okay? She does punch, EX fan, hit into, it's an overhead. So it's a fake out, it's a reset. She could have continued the combo after punch, EX fan. She chose to do an overhead to reset. And since the overhead connected, now the EX fan bounced and reset, and now she's doing the second combo. She did it again. See, she didn't continue. She's resetting again into an EX that's different. So there's two different EX fans. One is a single hit into a bounce. That's a second hit. Then she could also throw multiple fans. So she mixed them up. She hit fan, overhead fan, then low kick. So basically he had to block 3 different ways in a row right there. I could definitely see that being very confusing on how to defend. So that was just crap. She's never going to do that. Did you see how bad that was? How many meters she had to burn? Watch this. She throws a fireball. He throws a fireball. It had to have been, I guess that's her heavy fireball, is a double fan. He does his Genjin charged fireball. She now does a meter burn fireball. That's a double. And then she does a regular elbow. See, it's hard to tell if that's regular or if that's meter burn. Not sure. If that was regular, that's okay then. So I think what's going to happen is she's going to have regular fireball. She's going to have a heavy version of the fireball that's different. Then she's going to have a meter burn version that's also different. So it's going to be very tricky to figure out, what to use in what situation. But honestly, I'm not seeing anything too impressive. Just being honest from a technical analysis here, the best thing I saw, there's mix-up potential, but most people are just going to parry all that shit anyway because they could just hold fucking parry. And I think comboing into her EX elbow, which creates a launcher state, that's coming up. Not here. I think it's the next one. So that's her EX elbow. Her EX elbow is a launcher. And then she could air cancel a hit into the EX dive, and that becomes a combo cancel. So to show that again, she throws a fireball, he throws a fireball, they match. She jumps, she can juggle, air hit into the dive. As it lands, she can do the EX elbow because she's in a juggle. Oh, wait a minute. Did you just see that? He landed on the fireball. Oh, that's baloney. This is a completely impractical setup. The only reason this combo works is because he extended the juggle with a fireball. No one is ever going to randomly land on a fireball like that. Throw a fireball, jump, medium punch, dive, land on the fireball again, EX elbow, EX dive super. The only thing I can think of is you're fooling people into jumping over the fireball. And instead of doing your traditional anti-air, you're going for the air juggle instead because it leads to big damage. But that doesn't seem very practical to me. You can combo into the EX elbow, which leads to an air juggle. And if you have 2 meters, you could immediately cancel to a super. That's huge. You do any combo, because I could definitely see her doing, ground sequence, EX elbow, jump, punch, EX dive, super. And that's going to do like 50% damage. So does she seems okay. Again, cannot tell at all if her anti-air flip is good. Can't tell how good her fireball game will be. It looks like she has a ton of different projectiles. Honestly, how good are her normals? If she's just a zoner throwing fireballs and trying to mix up, she's probably not that good, to be honest. It looks like she may be going to be a zoner. She's just going to be throwing fireballs, trying to mix you up, catch you in the air with a juggle. If she's not that good straight up, she's going to be beaten by every single rushdown character. I'm just saying. Like, she probably will be beaten by every single rushdown character unless they give her tools to beat it, and I'm not so sure she has anything to stop it. Okay. Anyway, she looks all right. Obviously, everyone's going to be all over her because she's has big boobs. Because that's all people care about. They don't care about the gameplay. Everyone's going to get her and play with her and do memes. Okay. All right. Well, I watched it. There you go. Will I check that character out? Of course I will. I checked out every DLC character. I'll try her. I don't know if I'm going to like her, though. Again, here's what's going to happen. You start to figure out how to use their projectiles and combos and mix-ups, and then someone just rushes you down with a top-tier character and you lose. And you're like, well, fuck this game. There you go. All right. Guys, we've got a little bit of extra time left on the show. So if you guys have any topics you'd like to address, tag me in the chat, and we'll talk. And guys, let's get some support going. Right now, we are at $36 of support. Or is it 38? I think it's 38. $38 of support. We're almost to a third of our way to the goal. But guys, I want to hit the goal today. I want to do DSP Tries It tomorrow. It would be perfect. Please support the stream today. All right? Please do. In any way possible. Let's get some more in. Let's get some people on the leaderboard here. You know, we got Rare Tricks with 1 sub. We got no memberships whatsoever this morning. Let's get a couple memberships in before we end the show. Okay? Okay. What's up, Game Boy? How you doing today? Good to see you. So what do you guys want to chat about? Tag me in the chat. Like I said, we still got about 15, 20 minutes left before we jump back into Indy, which I'm excited for. I hope someone knows where to go next in Indiana Jones so we can keep going and, you know, beat this stupid soft lock. What would I like instead of rollback netcode? Netcode that actually works. Netcode that doesn't predict what's going on and favor spammers and repeat button mashers and pattern players. That you can actually react to something and it works rather than it gives the other person the advantage. That's what I would like. I do want to play Fallout London, Gojitac. I want to play it eventually. I do. But, you know, now we got Atomfall coming out in March, and I'm definitely going to check that out because it's on Game Pass. But Fallout London I can play. We got the mod going. I would love to play it at some point. Yes, I'm going to react to Switch 2 content when it finally comes out, but again, there's nothing credible whatsoever saying that there's a Switch 2 announcement tomorrow. Nintendo would have said it as much, and they haven't. Drew Corporation says, if Capcom called you into the lab and used your ideas to improve netcode, would you be willing to entertain them? Listen, I'm going to just make this clear. If Capcom actually called upon the expertise of pro players from the past, no one would like it. Why? Because fighting games would actually take skill to play. It wouldn't be easy mode nonsense. It would actually take a level of execution and timing and skill. It wouldn't be spam a pattern over and over. And that means 90% of today's player base would not be good and they would all lose nonstop and not be able to play. Therefore, they would all complain and not buy the games and it would be the end. Like Capcom made the games this way because they wanted to make money. They want to make big bucks on fighting games. And the only way they can do that is to get these games to be as easy to play as possible. So they dumbed it down and dumbed it down and dumbed it down. And now there's just no skill level requirement to play them. It's just learn a basic pattern, spam ad nauseum. I would change all of that from the ground up. It would be super turbo with improvements and tweaks to make it much better, but it would have a high skill cap. So you have to be fucking good to actually win. But they don't want that. Jinx says, I think you should thank people for their contributions, but only read something that's $5 and up. Well, if that's the case, Jinx, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think that I'd be reading out much because I get a lot of contributions that are below $5. Right now, let's take a look. $4.99. I'm just going to look at all the contributions I got over the past day. $4.99, $2, $2, $5, 2 euros, $2, 99 cents, 2,000 yen. Out of everything I just read, only 2 contributions were above $5 or were $5 or above. I wouldn't have called out, I wouldn't have talked to any of those people, you know? Yes, I've played Dead or Alive before. I have played that. Good luck with your new achievement runs today, Jade, in Marvel Rivals. Hopefully you do well. Yeah, the Arxis fighters, like I said, I respect them. I think that they take a high skill cap to play. You got to learn a lot to play Arxis fighters. But for me, I'd already started with Street Fighter, so that's where my roots were, and I didn't want to learn another franchise from the ground up, and that's why I never really got into them. Jinx says, if you change it, people who actually want to speak will donate the $5. Now, Drew Corporation says, I think do what you do, shout out contributions if they're well-meaning, ignore trolls. Just because someone can't afford a big contribution doesn't mean that they should be ignored. I should only read Beaver Bother's messages for his dollar donos. Beaver Bother's already banned, which I knew he would be. He started last night, he's all fucking whining and shit. Oh, why aren't you paying attention to me? Why aren't you reading my stuff? Why aren't you? I'm like, dude, I'm playing a game, so fuck off. Like, he's just a fucking attention whining dude. He just wants constant attention. Like, I'm not his dad. I'm not his best friend. You know, he's acting like a fucking idiot, so he's gone. Itzy, I have no idea. Itzy says, what's the next thing I'm going to react to besides wrestling? I literally just reacted to the Until Dawn announcement and the Mai Shiranui gameplay trailer. I'm going to keep reacting to stuff like that on this show. Outside of that, I have no idea. I'm not really planning on doing any other reacting. I'm already very busy. Nor does anyone really seem to be asking me to do much of, other kinds of reacting. What's up, Cyber Elk? How's it going today? By the way, so we're about to run out of time for this goal. I was trying to get 5. Oh, the goal already ended. We got 0. I didn't even realize the goal ended. The goal was 5 yellow super chats in an hour, and I was going to do a dab. I mean, it was just a test. It wasn't serious. And it failed miserably. I got 0 super chats. 0. So I don't think that the YouTube goals are going to work very well, to be honest. What's the first album I ever bought? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I had a lot of CDs back in the day, the early 90s, but I don't remember what the first one was I ever bought. Stuart says, I didn't see it. It was at the top of the chat. It's this new YouTube goal system where you can assign a goal and try to get a certain amount of like super chats in a certain amount of time. And if you get it, you do a reward. Now, it was a test. Someone had asked me to test it and see if it worked. So all I did, I said, hey, I'll do 5 yellow super chats, which is like $10 super chats within an hour. And if I raised that, then I was going to do a dab, which I haven't done in ages on stream. Not that that's a real reward or anything. It was just a test, But no one did a single one. So there you go. Dark B says, will you be downloading my modded skins? Oh, yes. I'll be downloading so many modded skins. In fact, I'm just going to download a full modded repertoire of skins, everyone completely nude, every character in the game completely butt naked. And that way I'm going to play it that way for myself only, because if I do it on stream, I'll get banned. But I'll only play nude Street Fighter 6. Isn't it true that like last year someone did that, and then they went to a tournament, and they had their console hooked up and someone booted the game to play in the tournament and all the characters were nude on stream and they got banned or something? Did that happen? So a complete fucking idiot did that? Oh my God. uh. Good Lord. It was a new Chun-Li mod. Oh, these fucking people, man. Well, no, really. Okay, if you have it for your own personal use, why would you bring that console or PC or whatever it was to a tournament to be used in the tournament? How dumb can you possibly be? Like, really, how stupid can you be? I just don't understand. Wow, I've just received an incredibly generous $50 tip. Thank you so much. Let's play a nice animation for you, and then let's see who this is and what they are up to. Thank you so very much. A $50 tip from Captain Psycho. I said 150. Whoops, it's 50. Thank you, Captain Psycho. Very much. That now gets us up to $88. We're more than halfway to our goal. So we got great pacing to hit the goal by the end of the stream and get to 69 goals hit, which would mean only one more to go, and then we're doing the DSP Tries It reward. So Captain Psycho says, been a while since I've tipped you. Here you go. Do you plan on replaying Fallout 3 anytime soon? Interestingly enough, once we finish up some of the current playthroughs I'm doing, I want to bring back the retro replay nights. These are where once a week on a night stream, we go over to the DSP Throwback channel and we chill while we watch one of my classic playthroughs and I react to the commentary from the past. And I'm really excited to do Fallout 3. People voted back in December and said the next one they want to see is my original Fallout 3 playthrough. So that's one of my earliest playthroughs. I mean, I'm drunk for a big portion of it. It's newly remastered over there with improved graphics and sound. So it would be great to do that together, and that's what I'm doing. So am I playing a real Fallout game? No. Reason being, right now there's already stuff. For example, this Atomfall game is coming out in March, which is basically, the premise is it's a game like Fallout set in England, but also it has some elements of Stalker. So that seems like a neat game to play, but with that coming out, I certainly don't want to be playing another Fallout game. So I'm not really going to play a Fallout game, but I'm going to play a Fallout-esque game. And we're probably going to react to the original Fallout 3 playthrough, soon. We'll see when we can fit it in and get it rolling. So. King Michael, how are you today? Good morning. Good to see you. So thank you, Captain Psycho. Very generous contribution this morning. Greatly appreciate that. Let's keep that momentum rolling, my friends. Let's hit that goal and then see how far we can get in Indy today. What do you mean I already had the Fallout 3 ready to go? The original Fallout 3 playthrough was not really watchable. There were missing parts because of music or muted parts because of music. And a lot of the parts were filmed so poorly with my old camera, it was just a blurry mess. You couldn't even tell what the hell was going on. And the audio was really bad. But now the new version is much better. It's much improved. It's still not perfect. There's blurry parts and bad parts. But, my editing team did a really good job last year with the Fallout 3 playthrough to try to make it stomachable, digestible for a modern audience. 30-minute parts, proper titles, much better. The weird part about the Fallout 3 playthrough, I skip a ton of the side content because I'm not aware it exists. So I actually didn't do most of the side content of the game. I skipped like half the missions because they were like kind of out hidden in the environment. For the most part, I played just a lot of the main story, and I missed out on a lot of the side stuff. So I actually later on went back and did an extended run of Fallout 3 where I did all the stuff I had missed. Maybe we'll restore that at some point. But actually, the next playthrough that will be restored for DSP Throwback is Assassin's Creed 2. I'm really excited for this one. I don't remember much about the playthrough, so I'm very excited to see how that one plays out. Yes, Indiana Jones is fun to play. The Vatican is the first part, and it's incredibly long. After that, the game picks up. There's Egypt, a whole bunch of action sequences, and then there's another open world area, and then there's the final area. I'm about to finish that next to last open world area today and see where the final area is. I have no idea. Are the old playthroughs on the channel original footage? If so, that's cool. For the most part, all gameplay footage is original. The only parts that aren't are the cutscenes. If there's a game that has definitive cutscenes that don't change, what a lot of the time has done, like for example, right now they're redoing Mass Effect 1. I say they, it's my editing team. They'll take cutscenes and or dialogue trees, and they'll take it from the remastered version. So it's the same dialogue, it's the same, voice acting. It's just the visuals are improved. But then they take my commentary and my choices and they superimpose it over it. So it makes it look a lot better than the original playthrough. The gameplay elements are the same, but they upscaled the footage to have more frames per second. So originally it was like 20 frames per second with my camera. Now it's up to 60. And they increased and upscaled the resolution. So instead of being like peach fuzz, now it's like 1080p, sometimes 1440p, depending on, what they could get to work. So everything's improved. Basically anything that they could improve and restore, to the best of their ability is done. And then everything else is kind of like, well, what can we do with these old camera footage of gameplay, right? You do your best. The playthroughs look a lot better now. Like I said, I've been really enjoying watching these classic playthroughs. Resident Evil 5, I barely even remember. So I'm watching that back. I'm like, damn, I don't even remember this stuff. No, we fixed the soft lock in Indie Jinx, but we need to know where to go next for this next mission because the map's not updating because of this glitch. So I just need to know where to go to do the final story mission. I hope someone here knows because I'd be happy to do it. Just I need to know where to head to do it. Okay. Anything else, guys? Are we good? In some cases, yes. Someone just asked, what do? They play the game and makes the same choices you did? In some cases, yes. In some of the games, they actually replayed the game and then would do the dialogue the same I did and just superimpose my voice over it. So it's literally the same exact outcome. It's just with better visuals. That's happened in some cases. In other cases, no. Like some games you could do that. Some games you just can't. So then it was the original stuff. Yeah, sub-only mode is at 5 minutes for a reason. It's fine. The performance problems in Indiana Jones are based on the open world area of the Siam map. It only takes place there. I tested it in the other areas, and it's not happening. So it's just that for some reason the Siam map has pop in and lag and frame drops. But once you go into another area, it's beautiful. Someone says, we already addressed this a million times, but I'll address it again. Doesn't remastering stuff on DSP Throwback ruin the original when stuff is cut out? The stuff that's cut out has to be cut out because if I were to upload it today, it would be banned or removed from the video. You got to understand that legacy content a lot of the times has stuff from a different era and it's allowed on YouTube because it's old. But if you were to re-upload that same content, you'll get in trouble. It's happened to multiple people. I don't understand. The original video is there and it's no problem. But if I react and comment to the video, then my video gets flagged as, not good for the community or whatever. Yeah, because YouTube will allow the legacy content to be there, but they'll flag it as adults only and stuff like that. but then they're not going to let someone else just play the content again on their channel. It's the same thing here. You know, if my original playthrough has harsh language that wouldn't be allowed today, right? Commentary that, oh, it's too risque, it's too offensive or over the top. You can't have that in a new upload. YouTube won't allow it. YouTube will block it or ban it or say, oh, it's against the rules. So you have to edit it to make it conform to what YouTube wants in 2025. It's nothing that I want. I would obviously like to restore the original video, but they just don't allow it. Zero, I love doing nostalgia stuff, but you can't do it all the time. Like Zero says, it would be great if you could do more throwback content. The Mega Man playthrough did well. The Mega Man marathon did good as a marathon where I was drinking. You understand? They thought it was funny to see me taking all these fruit-flavored shots of high percentile liquid, high proof, liquor, and then try to play Mega Man. Because some cases it was rough. Mega Man 1, oh my God, it whooped my ass because I was so buzzed. It was very hard to play. Just sitting around playing that as a playthrough usually won't work. People won't show up for it or support it. Sadly, I wish that wasn't the case, but that's the case. Certainly, I like retro stuff, and I would like to do more. The next retro thing we're planning on doing is Dino Crisis, which I've never played. I've only done the intro, and now we can actually play it on PS5, and I'm excited to try it on PS5. I think it will work well as a playthrough. But we got to, finish up a few things, and then we're going to get to that. So Dino Crisis will be next, and then after that, we'll see what's next. But can't do it constantly. Like, for example, would I love to play Mega Man 4, 5, and 6? Yes. In fact, I've only played 5 and 6 once ever, so I don't even remember them. But you got to get to a point where people are not going to be like, oh, you're doing too much retro stuff now. So, gotta play it by ear. And right now, I don't think that doing more of that stuff would make sense. We'll probably get back to it eventually. To spin around in the chair 10 times and play Crash Bandicoot? Oh, God. Yeah, the bridge stage. What is it called? The bridge. That's the hardest stage in the game because you just keep falling through the boards or whatever. Yeah. All right. I think it's time to end the show. Tomorrow, obviously, we'll get caught up on everything that we did today. Remember that tomorrow is only a half day. I'm only doing the one stream because I'm doing the final private React video ever tomorrow night to get that out of the way. So that's why today I'm hoping we hit the goals because I'd like to do DSP Tries It for you as an extra piece of content because I won't be here tomorrow night. But let's see how it goes. All right, folks? Thank you all for a great podcast. Wow, we had a lot. We talked about a ton of stuff today, right? Great show. Hope that you enjoyed the Level 1 podcast. Tomorrow, we'll do it all again. And I hope to see you then. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. And I'll see you on Thursday.